Hey everyone, and welcome back. We are watching episode 12 today of Gundam Seed. I still got a lot of episodes to go. I know this is kind of a slower grind, but just bear with me. It's just easier for me, honestly. I am unfortunately very busy all the time. But I would like to get to the point maybe we'll do like a couple of like double episode reactions, or maybe we'll do like a big thing of like I'll, do like an hour of, or maybe even less than that, or maybe more than that, but watch like a few episodes at a time, like 4 or 5. Who knows? If you guys really want to see that, let me know, and, get these like videos. I mean, they're doing pretty okay, view-wise, but anyways, let's get into it. Oh dang, we're just picking up. Nice. Okay. They're so important. We gotta bump those numbers up. Croissant does not care. He wanted you to die. I bet Croissant would have loved it if Lacus had died, because he'd been like, oh yeah, we gotta feed those flames, man. Get those casualties up. So I had a Patreon comment, it was saying that basically what happened in the last episode was like Kira activated his seed mode, which is why it's kind of called Gundam Seed, which that's pretty cool. I guess that's what makes also Kira like way different and going to be a better pilot regardless, because it's just him versus everything, which I'm excited to see how it progresses. Well, at least they're back. I hope they all get on their ships or go home back to Earth. What is up with Flay? Oh, isn't this called FLAY'S decision? I think is this episode. Yeah, it is. So FLAY'S obviously going to do something. They're going to have hot, steamy elevator sex. I mean, that's true. I mean, you kind of have to. You can't really force him. What is wrong with these people? Okay, first off, she was wrong to be like, yo, we gotta force them in, but then she's also like, hey, we gotta do this. Finally, someone's making sense here. Oh. Oh. I feel like her character is definitely going to get better. And yes, I want to, forgive her past actions, but I'm also just like, man, sometimes, like, you can't forget about what people did, and I'm just like, what the heck is wrong with you? Although, everyone makes mistakes and makes bad decisions, so, like, I can't fully say that she's a horrible person. She was in the moment, like, at the very beginning of the series, which was just insane, like, what she was doing. I was like, what the heck? So, I'm kind of glad to see this coming from her. She's obviously going to try to convince Kira. Flay, I don't know what Flay's going to do, though. I don't know why it's called FLAY'S decision. Was she going to stay on, maybe? Oh, I bet that's it. She's going to stay on and be like, because she wants to force Kira to fight for the humans. Man, FLAY is insane. She's broken, man. Oh, this is good. Oh, damn. You got an older woman bowing at your feet, Kira. What are you going to do, huh? Honestly, don't want to ruin the moment, but I would have probably briefly mentioned, been like, hey, look, I understand you probably want to go back to your life, but we would greatly appreciate it if you stayed with us.
さきも戦闘中との報告を受けて気をもんだ。大丈夫か？ナタル・バジルールであります。
第7機動艦隊ムーラ・フラガであります。
ああ、君がいてくれて幸いだった。
This is like an awkward pause there.
おお、そして彼らは。はい。
Our child soldiers. Oh damn, he just pushed past them.
君たちのご家族の消息も確認してきたぞ。皆さんご無事だ。
Oh dang.
とんでもない状況の中、よく頑張ってくれたな。
Okay, this seems like an actual reasonable, good person. Some bad's gonna happen though. Alaska? What?
ツイグラにジンが6機、こちらにイージスを含めて5機。ガモフンをバスターとブリッツは出られますから。
師匠ハルバート、そろそろ退場してもらおうか。
No. They're gonna kill the admiral? Damn, this is crazy. I'm telling you, Croissant is bloodthirsty, man. He does not care. I hate this because this admiral actually looks like a decent, or seems like a decent person, and I feel like he's gonna die. Like, it's just like red flag thrown on. You're nice? You're good? No, you're gonna die. You don't progress plot enough. I just want to know what's up with Alaska. Like, I like that they're mentioning it, but what's the story? I need to know what's our position in this universe.
このコーディネーターの子供の件はこれも不問ですかな。
キラヤマトは友人たちを守りたい。ただその一心でストライクに乗ってくれたのです。我々は彼の力なくばここまで来ることはできなかったでしょう。ですが、
Just gotta give him benefits, man.
自分の同胞たちと戦わねばならなくなったことに非常に苦しんでいました。
Shut up, Naruto.
僭越ですが、私はホフマン大佐と同じ考えです。彼の能力は目を
Shut the fuck up. Like, you can't force people into things. Okay, and now knowing that there's actual laws around all this stuff, like it seems kind of similar to the laws we have in our world too. I'm gonna tell you right now, that's illegal, probably. Go fuck yourself. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Whoever said, by the way, that I don't know how secrets work, screw you. I do know. You don't. Anyways, I don't really care. I'm glad that he mentioned that. He's like, well, I mean, Zaft has the other 4. It's not really a secret anymore. I mean, it's true. Like, once it's out there, it's like there's not much of a point to try to hide things anymore. Like, if you progress further and make more or whatever, yes, of course. But at the current state, it's like, nah, there's no point. You've already messed up. Yeah. Oh, okay. So living on Earth. Yes. Thank you. Yep. We have to forward think. Wait, what? I'm kind of confused. Was he against Kira joining or for Kira joining? I don't even know why she would suggest that. Like, it doesn't even... Like, you can't just be like... You can draft people, yes, of course, but that's like... That is such a high level. That's like at a world, you know, a country level here, at least in the U.S., right? It's like the Congress has to be like, yo, let's do a draft. But that takes a lot of work and funding and decision making. It's not something you can just be like, yo, let's just grab this one person. No, you can't do that.
まあいい。後で渡してやれ。
たとえ非常事態でも民間人が戦闘行為を行えばそれは犯
Okay, there we go. We're getting some laws, so it's illegal for a civilian to join combat. I mean, yes, like, no duh. Because you have no... So, like, there's a thing, right? Like, you're recognized if... It's kind of weird how laws work, right? Because if you join a service, right? And this is for, like, most countries, at least, right? Or I think all of them. Because you have to be recognized, basically, as a force by the world in order to... You know, because militaries fighting militaries is, like, that's fine. But then when it's like civilian versus the military, it's like, oh, now it's like, oh, now you're, you know, there's some very murky stuff there. Although I don't think that they were actually on orders, like, because they never joined. Maybe they're doing this as a formality to be like, oh, yes, you guys were temporarily on orders. Oh, he's going over this. Okay.
君は戦っていないだろう。彼らと同じ措置は取られていないぞ。
Mm-hmm.
そうではなくて、
She's gonna volunteer.
私、軍に志願
I knew it! I knew it! Oh, Flay! Damn it! This would be such a good moment if I didn't know your ulterior motives, you conniving woman! Sorry. It's actually cool. I knew this was gonna happen. This is good. Because now it's gonna be like, oh, the others are gonna be like, oh, we need to join. Oh man, that's insane. The funny thing is, it's like, this paperwork takes so much longer in the real... Now, maybe in a war situation like this, where they're like really desperate, they might just do like real fast process paperwork and stuff like that. I don't know. But normally this process takes like months, you know, and you have to do like your whole basic training. You can't just join. You have to get trained up, because then you're a liability if you don't know how to do anything, right? You need to be taught a job. Even during wartime, like that's gonna happen.
しかし改めて驚かされるよ。君たちコーディネーターの力というものには。ザフトのモビルスーツにせめて対抗戦と作ったものだというのに、君たちが扱うととんでもないスーパーウェポンになってしまうようだ。
So I will touch on a couple of comments you guys made a few episodes ago. Flay does talk about like their genetic enhancements of them, that they can be added. I'm just more curious on how it works. Like, is it a pace thing? Like, do they do it when they're a baby, or is it something that you can do it as an adult and get these, you know, modifications done as coordinators? I do understand Flay's view and some other people's view of like why they think that'd be wrong, but I've been reacting to Cyberpunk as well, right? And the thing is, like, okay, first off, we already do it in our own world. Like, maybe not genetically enhanced, but we technologically advance ourselves all the time. What's the real difference there? You know, if someone's become paralyzed, well, we give them a wheelchair. If they've lost a leg, we make a bionic leg or an arm or whatever. There's metal, you know, organs out there. So, like, Cyberpunk does it in, like, the more, you know, metallic, or adding upgrades artificially. Well, even genetically modifying would be artificial modifications, but it's like, well, what's the difference there? And we already have that technology in doing it. So I understand that there are people be against it, and there are people against stuff like that now, but I mean, how far could we even really say that a phone is not just a exterior modification onto our lives? Like, this is a device that you have on you all the time, that you use to make communications with other things, interact. There's a lot of stuff that you do with your phone. Oh, you know, we shouldn't do this. I'm like, well, why not? If people are dying, like, you know, people are in a hospital, we don't just not treat them. We already take drugs and supplements for stuff. So in this sense, it's like, well, I mean, if you could, you know, I would pay to get a beautiful, like, singing voice. I don't think that's wrong, in my personal opinion. Now, it becomes messed up when it's like you have to pay so much, and then there's like the upper class that can only pay for it, making them completely superior and whatnot. So I do understand that aspect. I'm just more wondering how that works in this world, if that's like the route they're going. It's only rich and affluent people that can afford the genetic modifications. They might not explain it for a reason of like maybe at the time when this was created they didn't really understand it, and that's just fine. Like I don't need it like fully in depth of like, oh, this is the process of how it's done. I would just like to know, like, you know, generally how it's done, and you know who can get these things done. His parents are naturals, but then he was a coordinator. Yeah. So I guess that does answer my question. I kind of keep forgetting about that. But like, what did they do to him to make him a coordinator? That's what I want to know. This seems just more like an ideological thing, like almost like the Cold War, you know, like communism versus capitalism. Because, well, if, honestly, right, the Naturals would definitely start enhancing themselves. If they wanted to fight better and win the war, they'd be like, yeah, we're going to genetically enhance ourselves to become better fighters. Like, why wouldn't you? So I am kind of confused on that point and why that's not done. It seems kind of strange. I want to know what's going on here. Like, why is that the case? Like, why are so many people opposed to doing it? I understand, like, some people would be. Yes, you'd have, like, maybe certain religions or groups and, you know, just general people that don't want to be enhanced. You know, maybe it was normal at first and more people wanted to, and then someone had a certain agenda and the coordinators were like abused, and then they were like, oh, let's flee and we're going to go create our own place, the plants, maybe, and that's what happened. In the plants, it's more seen as normal to do that, while on Earth maybe there's propaganda. Oh, yeah, one of you guys was saying that propaganda is very prevalent in this world. It's really hard to judge how well propaganda works. Like take Nazi Germany, for example, there's a lot of propaganda. And the closer you got in the city, you know, the higher the ideology was, and the further you got out of like the capital in Germany, the less it was. But it was still prevalent. But it's also hard to judge like how effective was propaganda actually. Like, you know, it obviously happened, but then we can't really judge a whole conscience of people to be like, oh yeah, did they actually fall for it, or were they just scared to get killed? And even if you are brainwashed, right? You still know. You do. Like, honestly, brainwashing isn't the whole thing of like, oh, I've been completely controlled. No, you're slowly integrated to a certain way of thinking that you still would know. Like, if I was a Nazi, right? I would still know that what I'm doing is kind of messed up and wrong, but I've just kind of fallen in this trap of I believe this agenda now that I'm kind of using as a justification for my actions almost. Now, and that varies between people, right? For sure, some are going to be more extreme, some are less extreme. But I think the majority would be somewhere in the middle where it's more of that case, where they are aware of what's going on, but they're kind of doing it. You know, like it's something that definitely happens when you like join any military or group or organization of any kind, really, any religion, honestly. You are slowly changing your mindset and paradigm. That's my long last rant.
もうこんなのは嫌だ。こんなところにいたくないと、そんな思いばかりでした。でも艦隊と合流してやっと地球に降りられると思った時、何かとてもおかしい気がしたんです。おかしい？これでもう安心でしょうか？これでもう平和でしょうか？そんなこと全然ない。
Okay.
世界は依然として戦争のままなんです。
I mean, yes.
自分は中立の国にいて全然
I like how she's saying all this, but there's probably some truth to what she's saying, but some of it's probably like she's just putting on airs to get everyone else motivated to join as well. Well, guys, what do we do? I mean, yeah. Short rant. There's no reason you have to fight for a war if you don't believe in it. It's tough. Because really what you're fighting for, I like that they do this throughout the show, and the motivations of people is, it's not for the glory of the country, not for the naturals, you know. People don't care about that. Okay, that's like maybe big scale, you know, but honestly, most people don't give a shit. You're there to protect your friends, your family. That's why people join. That's and benefits too, most of the time, honestly. Or maybe you get forced because, you know, certain countries do that. And part of it is, yeah, I mean, if we didn't have, so like take the U.S. for example, right? If we are a superpower, and I've talked about this before, but you have to have a defense posture of some kind. I mean, you just have to. Like every country does in some sense. And I mean, look at countries that don't, like especially underdeveloped countries, right? There's other countries that are bullying them financially, and I mean, they can't do anything, you know? They have no like military like strength to fight against them or push them back, and that just is going to happen. Now, granted, you know, not to say that the U.S. doesn't do that either. Anyways, I like that what they kind of go for here and what they're talking about. I just don't know why they would join just to be like, oh yeah, the fighting keeps happening. It's not like they're going to end the war much sooner. I think really the only way to stop this war is really just to negotiate. Like they have to sit down and talk about what they're doing. They just keep fighting for nothing. And it's obviously going to keep getting worse. Aw. Oh. No, you definitely can, man. You should. She's insane. She's crazy. Oh. Flay. Gosh. She's so good at being a manipulator. Oh my god. She did it. Flay's gonna get her way. That's insane. You know, there's gotta be other laws, though, about them being... Or, they're in college, right? So maybe they're old enough to join? I don't know. What was that? Like, hey, don't join Zaf, please. Otherwise you're gonna get us killed. They both seem like they have horrible motivations to fight each other. And it does get skewed and hard, right? Like, we look at Russia today and, you know, their invasion on Ukraine, and I mean, I think Russia is definitely wrong for their invasion. However, you know, some of what they say, they kind of have a claim to, a little bit, or at least they believe they do. This dude. What are you gonna do? The paper or the flower? Damn, there he is. He made his decision. Alright, well, that was really good. I actually enjoyed that. There was a lot of things going on. I'm not really surprised that Kira stayed. I'm just more surprised on how it worked. At least, you know, before I didn't think that was going to happen. But I enjoyed that episode, and, you know, anime is just starting to show me that really it is about the friends you make along the way. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed that episode, and if you did, make sure you hit subscribe, hit that like button as well. Leave a comment down below. As you know, I always enjoy reading your comments. If you want to make sure you catch the next episode or whatever other videos are being released on YouTube, then hit that notification bell so you get notified of when that occurs, okay? And without further ado, I'll see you in the next episode.